our client came to us, and the person who passed away was her mom. Her mom was not married, and our client was one of 3 children. Now, the main asset that her mom had was a home, but there was one of the 3 children that was living in the home.
Okay.
Not our client,
Yep.
but another child of the mom that had passed, was living in the home. And she didn't want to leave. And the home was solely in the decedent's name, the mom's name. You know, our client said that there was a cousin that was named as the executor in the will. She did have the will, and the cousin was named executor, but the cousin didn't want to serve. There was no one named next, and even our client didn't want to serve. She just wanted somebody to take care of this. She wanted the brother out of the home. She wanted to make sure that the home was sold and split equally, like the will says. But she also didn't want to, really ruffle feathers with the brother and didn't know what to do. So Stacy came up with a really good strategy for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacy's just such a great attorney. I mean, I've seen her do this so many times, really where she's able to pull these really great results out of cases where, quite honestly, we probably should have lost, right? Because the facts weren't on our side, but she's able to, just through the way she goes about looking at a case, the way she goes step by step through it, very, very methodical in how she does each part of the process. And so here, this is a great example of a tough scenario. Like, much like this client, many people we talk to, they just want to get the estate done. They want to get it done. They want to get it done the right way and honor the wishes of their loved one. But at the same time, also move on and close that chapter. I don't want to say that in a callous way, but that's often a concern, right? I want to honor this person, but I also have to continue my life. And so that's a very common motivation. But unfortunately, sometimes you've got other family members that have a different interest. I'm not going to say, they're bad or evil or whatever. They just have a different interest. In this case, the other family member is living in a house that they're not having to pay rent on. That's wonderful, right? Anybody would want to be in that situation. And so this person wanted to continue to live there and not have to move out. But unfortunately, after the decedent passed away, where they were living, where this person was living with their parent, once that parent passed away, we've got to handle that person's house. And there were 2 other siblings here that needed to be involved in that, and they needed to get whatever share they were entitled to. And so here, the strategy Stacy put together was obviously take a look at the will. That's the first thing you always want to do. Make sure you understand any rights that are given in the will or any inheritance, because wills can have a lot of different provisions. Mm-hmm. So she did that. Then we have a conversation with the client, went through the 3 phases of an estate, walked through the will with the client, described the situation, and then identified what she had found in the will. So after consulting with the client about this, Stacy decided the best path was going to be to try to get control of the estate quickly. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's a fantastic strategy, because if we don't, this could get worse and it could kind of spiral a little bit, and that winds up taking longer, costing more money and whatnot. So what she chose to do was to file a petition for temporary letters and get what we call a temporary administrator appointed. Well, one of the things she had to ask for was permission to file an eviction, because otherwise our temporary administrator would not have had the authority to do that. And
our client received a letter from an attorney that was representing the ex-husband of her mother, and he wanted to be the administrator. So this attorney wanted our client to sign documents allowing him, the ex-husband, to be administrator and control the estate. The estate had financial assets, no real estate, but the client obviously was not comfortable with this at all. All right, Eric, I wanted to go over this one also. This is another case study, and this client reached out to us, and his father had passed away. He was one of 5 children, and after his father passed away, he had actually asked his oldest brother about the will. Now, him and his siblings, they didn't have a good relationship, and we hear this often in our office, unfortunately, is that the family relationship wasn't very close. So when he reached out to his oldest brother about this will, he got no communication back, which was unsettling. At some point, he was asked to sign a blank document that his brother sent him. No communication still, just a blank document. Still no will.
We need someone else here that's going to handle the job the way it needs to be handled.